You don't gotta trade every day to make money. You don't gotta trade every day to be consistent. And they think that if you don't trade every single day, you're not going to make money. Hey guys, it's Will. Welcome to the channel. I'm a part-time day trader trying to become a full-time. Today is a new trading day. Today is a new week. It is a Monday. It is July 14th. Did not take any trades today. You guys will be seeing this video, I don't know when, but honestly, it doesn't really matter about the date. If you guys do want to check out the trading day, then that's what I'm telling you guys today. I am going to show you guys why I didn't take a trade, why you guys need to be patient, and that you don't need to trade every day. I tried it multiple times. I tried trading multiple times every day, and then I just keep losing. There are times when I be patient, I make money, and then I'm doing well, but later I start losing. Then I'm like, okay, I want to take more trades. I want to try to be consistent and just be winning. But then all I notice is that I'm just losing every time I'm trying to trade more often. It's because I'm taking random setups that are not my setups, and I'm taking random trades because I'm thinking about the money. I want to make money, so I just trade more. Although it depends on your setup, but most of the times trading less is more. It's also a skill to not take a trade. It is a skill to be disciplined, to just sit on your computer, watch the markets and do absolutely nothing. There are times where I didn't take a single trade in a full week, and I can say it sucks, but if my setup is not there, then I'd rather just stay and do nothing and just be patient, not lose any money, and that's still a W for me. In my head, I'm like, yeah, I wish I could be taking trades because I want to make this certain amount of money a week. But if I'm just trying to take a trade because I want to make the money and my setup's not there, I'm just going to be losing extra for no reason. And when the setups do come, then I'll have the confidence to take it because I can always scale up in the future. There's a lot of swing traders who only take one trade a month or two trades a month. And if you have really good confidence and you're able to scale up eventually in the future, you can just make in one trade like 50,000, 100,000. I know a trader that made about 100,000 in 6 trades. That 100,000 is basically someone's whole salary in a whole year in 6 trades. And that is crazy. Although it kind of sucks because you're not getting the action of just trading every single day. But would you rather make 100,000 or make nothing? Anyways, I'm going to break down today, which is July 14th. Like I said, on the left is the NASDAQ, on the right is the ES. These are the two charts that I look at every single day. These are actually the micro futures because I do trade on the micros. If you look at the charts, it looks a little clear because it does really respect this level right here on the charts that I have, which is the 6280. It does a break and retest right there, but the NASDAQ is a bit choppy. It's like kind of in a zone. It's not really respecting my levels, although it is respecting this level here. That can also be a possible rejection. But in the morning, I'm going to show you guys my charts that I had. I'm going to go back to the 30-minute time frame on, let's say, the NASDAQ first. Switching to the 30-minute, as you see that we're in this zone right here that we have since the previous week, and the all-time highs is the 23,101, which was the trade that I took last week, and I made money off that. Now we're simply in the same zone, and there's nothing really that clear. I did have this level on my charts this morning, which was the 22,920, because like let's say I'll normally draw my zone like this. I'll change it to red because that was my rejection. It isn't really that clear, but it does have some holds around here. See how it holds there? It holds there, it wakes up there, and then the previous day it holds at the level, and then the pre-market is basically not getting above that level. And if I do zoom into the 2-minute time frame, gets above this level, it retests, and then it goes off that level. Later day it holds, and this is the Friday, which was the last week. And then in the pre-market we see that it is just not getting above this level. You see how it's rejecting, even though it doesn't really get to that zone. So in the morning, I do have that level there, which is not really that clear. My strategy is a break and retest. Even though it may look really clear, I match it with the ES, I align it with the ES. Some people call that SMTs, but I just call it divergences in the market or discrepancies in the market. I just make sure that they align together, and that is when I take a trade if the market gives me more confirmation. When I do chart the levels, that's just an area of interest. But when I do zoom into the 30-minute time frame, the bigger like structure of the market is this zone right here, which is the 22,101 and this 22,780. So this is my zone right here, and I do want to see a break and retest of the zone. So if it breaks up above this level, I can play along. If it breaks under this level, I can play it short. Sometimes it gives you a false break up or false breakdown. Like let's say it breaks above and then maybe it can be a retest long, but maybe it falls down and then the ES looks weak as well, and then I can play a supply rejection right there. Same goes to the demand zone. Sometimes it might break down and then it gives you the false breakout and it goes back up, and that can be a long right there. So the levels I do have here is just a small level and it is choppy. So when I do go to the intraday on the 2 minutes, and then I do see this level like this, how it's choppy, I don't take a trade like that. So after I see this level, this fall down, I just remove it off my screen. Although you see how it's kind of funny how this does that break and retest right there, and it does respect that zone right there. That's why sometimes I leave the level there, because it can always do a proper break and retest later. It can have like a clear structure after, even though it's kind of choppy. Sometimes that's why I say it really depends on how the chart looks like, and that's why I'll take a trade. You see how over here the candles are just like all over the place, is like wicking up and down, but then now it finally does a proper break, and then it slowly retests the level, and then it starts holding. That's a more proper pattern, and it's more structured. So that's why I say it really depends on what the chart is showing me, and how that could give me confidence in taking the trade. And that just comes with experience of this trading every day and this time in the market. I have these level chart out, and then I go to the ES, I do the exact same thing, go to the 30-minute time frame. I do also look at the 4-hour and the 1-hour, but like we're not really at that level yet right here. So I just look usually around the 30 hours or 30 minutes to the 1 hour, because we're kind of in a zone right now, so I don't have to look out further out yet. And then I do have the same levels as last week. I didn't even change it, honestly. It's the 6260 and the 6280 and the 6315. I think I did have the 6300 around here, but as you see, it's just like pretty choppy. So that's why I do go to the 2 minutes time frame. And then the previous day, which was on Friday, it's not respecting the level. So what I do, since I don't see anything respected, I just take out the level. So I just take out the level. But as you see, it's funny how the previous day, it's funny when I zoom out, because the previous day on the Friday, it's choppy. Although it rejects early morning, when it goes up here, it doesn't do a proper break and retest, and it just falls down. It goes all over the place, and then I remove my charts. And then the next day, when you see here, it rejects. It keeps rejecting. Now it is doing a proper break and retest. That's kind of funny, but it is respecting the zone now. That's why I could have left in my charts and wait for something really clear. But I did take it off my charts because the previous day was really weak, and I don't really care for trying to trade that zone. And then when I go to both charts, it wouldn't really make sense, because you see how the Nasdaq is just rejecting this zone right here, and the ES is finally above the zone. But can I trust it while the Nasdaq is rejecting a zone that I have? To be honest, I don't want to play off that level, because I do want to make sure that they align properly. But sometimes I do take that trade if I really feel that, like, if one market really is like stronger. Also, you can also do this right here. You see how there's rejections on the Nasdaq right here, rejection. If I did draw like a line right here like that could be a intraday break and retest of that level, and it goes up higher, and I can just play it off the ES right here. But I don't want to do that. In the morning, I look at both charts, I see if this thing holds, and I see if the ES is strong. But then the Nasdaq just fell down, so what I did was that I just removed my charts, removed this and that, and then remove the 6300. Although it respects the level, it actually might save you, because you might try to take random levels, random trades on these small zones on the market, when the bigger time frame is showing you that it's just like all chop, and the bigger time frames, the key levels is actually the highest level. And you're basically just trying to trade on random zones right here. Like we're in a small channel, and you're just taking random trades in these channels, and you might be thinking why you're losing, but it's because we're in a channel. It is not a strong level that you're trading off of, and that's the reason why you lose. So it's better to be patient and just not even trade, and that's what I did today. Not going to trade because I didn't see anything very clear. I didn't see my A+ strategy, and that is why I did not take a trade today. I showed you guys why I didn't take a trade and why the market is just choppy, so I don't take a trade. But now I want to show you guys why I did take the trade on last week, and how it is more clear, and that it just worked perfectly, because the trade really made sense, and it was A+, and I was waiting for the trade that actually was A+. The trade that I took last week was basically only these days right here. This is basically what I saw on the market. There is really no clear levels on the market, but all I know is that there is a low on the market, which is this low right here, and then on the highs, it's the all-time highs, and also this level right here that I was rejecting. So the trade that I took on last week that was clear was this day right here, which was on the Wednesday. So I am going to go to the 2-minute time frame. So as you see, it's just a simple supply rejection. You see how it goes up here and it's just rejecting, and then that's why I took the trade. But it's too early to take a trade just because it just rejected once. You see how it only waked up once, and then it just rejected, and then the whole day it just fell down. It's just too early. I did take the trade because of the Nasdaq as well. That day the only thing I saw was only this area right here, and then we opened up at this area. So I do have two small levels, or like I had two levels. I had this level right here, this tiny rejection, and then it had holds right there. But the major rejection was all-time highs. That's why I do have those two charted out. And then when I do go to the intraday on the 2 minutes, this is what I see. I want to see a clear break and retest of the 23,020. So it does break up. It doesn't give me a pullback, so I don't trade it. The market just keeps going all the way straight up. And then the first sign I see is a rejection right there. It goes up, it falls down. That's another rejection. There's wicks again. It goes up again, it rejects again. When I saw that, and then when I saw the ES rejecting, that is a clear sign that I should take the trade into the next demand zone. So I take the trade. My risk was about here. My reward was going to be down here. That was basically a 2-to-1 trade that I was targeting. I wanted to get more, but I want to respect the zoner here. I waited for proper confirmation. I waited for the levels to align, and then I took the trade. I also like how this trade just went straight up and there was no pullback. And then when I saw that, and also the rejections, the double top or the triple top, and the ES aligning, and that is why I took the trade. It is also the all-time highs of the last couple of days, and that's why I did take the trade. Then when I go to the 2-minute time frame for both of these charts and align it properly on the day I took the trade, you see how it goes up, it rejects multiple times. The ES did the exact rejection right there. And then when I kept seeing more confirmation, I just shorted the level. That is proper confirmation. That is me being patient and just knowing my levels and understanding my levels and then playing off the level. If I go back today, it is respecting a level right here. It's not really a big level that I have in the market, and if it's not aligning with the Nasdaq right here, then I'm not going to trade it. Although the Nasdaq holds randomly, if I do zoom out to the Nasdaq, like this level here, the 22,850 or so, like it's kind of choppy. If I do zoom out, although we see like kind of small holds, it's just like really choppy that I just can't trust. And my major zone that I had was this level right here. So holding up around here, it's just random zone and I'm not going to trust it. Although the ES did hold my zone right here, it's just too aggressive. It just falls down, it holds up one wick, and then it just goes up higher. There's no really real entry off that level. I hope you guys learned something new, and that just being patient, just being disciplined, and not taking random setups that are not clear, that will help you in the future, and that you're just going to be more consistent if you just be patient and not take any trades. And what I like to say is, how you do one thing is how you do everything. Keep staying disciplined, keep staying consistent. Let's just get 1% better every day, and I'll see you in the next one.